Big update on Delhi vehicle fuel ban. Delhi government has decided to approach the Supreme Court over end-of-life vehicles. After the uproar over fuel pumps in Delhi refusing petrol and diesel to vehicles older than their mandated lives, Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena has stepped in. The LG has asked the Delhi government to file a petition in Supreme Court seeking review of its 2018 order mandating deregistration of petrol vehicles over 15 years and diesel vehicles over 10 years. Evoking emotions, Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena said, and I quote, "People in India have emotional and sentimental attachments to vehicles bought with hard-earned money. Impounding and scrapping such vehicles, even if well maintained and lightly used, would be a travesty of justice." LG has written to Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta asking her to urge the chairman of Commission of Air Quality Management to put on hold implementation of its directive to deny fuel to EOLVs till entire NCR is prepared for such a drive. In his letter, LG wrote, vehicular emission is just one of the multiple factors impacting ambient air quality. Calls for comprehensive pollution mitigation strategies with clearly defined investments and timelines. More equitable, technologically updated framework needed to define the EOLVs. The centre has exclusive authority to fix age limit for vehicles. It cannot vary geographically. Joining me is Dr. Dipankar Saha, former Executive Director, CPCB. Very shortly, I'll also be joined by Divan Singh, who's an environmentalist. Let me quickly go across to Mr. Saha. Thank you very much, Mr. Saha, for joining us on News9 Special. Let me start by asking you, is it accurate to judge a vehicle's pollution level purely by its age? Or, should emissions testing be the real benchmark?
Thank you very much. The thing is that the vehicle is one of the issue which emits emission. And the vehicle health is important. Vehicle maintenance is important. Then the emission already can be controlled. This is my personal opinion. And when I was working with CPCB, clearly stated the thing that the vehicle cannot be just banned or deregistered with the age number of age it has given service to a society. Now the thing is that the vehicle, the inspection and maintenance of vehicle is very much important for our country. Everything is required in maintenance. And inspection and maintenance of vehicles which emits really poisonous toxic problems, toxic gases, those are required maintenance and inspection frequently so that it meets the norm. Vehicular exhaust is one of the aspects, but there are frictions, there are corrosions, there are other gases that also comes from the tire corrosion. Then there are other liquids are also being spun. So the road maintenance and vehicle maintenance as parallelly should go together. And the speed limit is also important so that the vehicle can give its ultimate life services to the society. It is not at all a wise, to my opinion, of course, that it should not be based on age factor. Even I am now in Kolkata and I am traveling by a vehicle which is more than 15 years old. And it meets all the norms whenever it's required. Because I do personal care of my vehicle so that it meets the norms of the government set by the government. So why not? This should not be made comprehensive. You make it a comprehensive, thorough checkup of the vehicle, that is important, so that the least emission comes out of the vehicle, because you have to protect the public health. Public health is important for us, not at the cost of the vehicle. That's why the vehicles are required to be tuned, inspected, and it should be adjusted according to the norm. This is my personal opinion once again. And there should be registration. You can introduce the registration after 10 years first, then 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, that also can be said. Once it passes the inspection maintenance as per the norms, then it should be registered once again. That is also one of the options that can be thought of, and that the people are not suffered because they are. It's a part of the our movement, part of our society, part of our connectivity. So we have to go with the time, and we have to think of the health of the vehicle. That is very important. Thank you.
All right, continue to stay with us. Let me quickly go across to Divan Singh. He joins me. He is a very renowned environmentalist. Mr. Singh, from an environmentalist's point of view, does vehicle age alone justify a blanket ban, sir, or should actual emission data matter more?
Yeah, firstly, judging things on the basis of age is not right. The number of kilometers driven by a vehicle should be considered. Sometimes a vehicle which has run only 10,000 or 20,000 kilometers in a year or in 10 years, that is also being forced to scrap, and this is a wrong policy. So judging it by age is wrong. The roadworthiness of vehicles should be considered through certain pollution control measures and other such measures. And secondly, I want to say that the environmental sensitivity among the public takes a hit with such measures, such bans. But public also wants to fight uh, pollution. But then, if the government takes such decision that they hit them directly, hit their pocket directly, then people get furious about the intention of the government. So on the other hand, what people see in this entire thing is to promote new automobile industries. So, well, whether that's the real motive or not, but then things should be done more sensibly, more judiciously. And considering the age of vehicle is not the right idea. Rather, it's the roadworthiness that should be considered. Another thing I want to say is that when a new vehicle is added to the city, let's also consider its cost of environmental cost of producing a new vehicle. The environmental cost of producing a new vehicle is almost same as running a vehicle through its entire life. The amount of pollution it produces entire life. It means as you bring a new replace old vehicle with a new vehicle, you are not doing something. You are not saving much of environmental cost. So only vehicles that are not worthy of the road, they should be scrapped. Not every vehicle. Another thing I want to say is that this method of this thinking that a more fuel efficient vehicle will be better for the city, for the country, is hasn't proved right in the past. When Ambassador car was highly polluting, it was taken over by the Maruti, which was more efficient. But the pollution in the city rose much higher after that. It's because the quantity of vehicles rose. So, if we really are so serious about controlling pollution through vehicles in this city, we should also consider imposing ban on number of vehicles a city can register, number of vehicles a family can own. So all these measures should be taken. Otherwise, all goes into waste, as the Ambassador and Maruti incidents episode shows.
All right, continue to stay with us. In fact, let me also quickly go back to Mr. Dipankar Saha. He continues to stay with us. Mr. Saha, let me ask you this. Do you believe Delhi has provided enough eco-friendly alternatives like, EVs, CNG, or even public transport to justify taking old vehicles off the road?
Actually, we are talking about mass transport system long back, and the last mile connectivity also, so that the people can go travel door to door. This was one of the idea that was given, but I think the love and affection for the vehicle, personal vehicle, is uh, much more than the public transport system. But I failed. I stayed long in Delhi, and what I found the people that the acceptance of the mass transport system is not yet generated, so that the public transport system can can substitute the requirement of personal vehicle. Now, the personal vehicle, particularly if we are talking about the car, that is, they are mostly the modern car. Those are really meeting the norms in most of the cases. But the problem is two-wheelers. This is the number is high, numbers are high, and they are also making congestion on the road. Delhi is not only suffering from the pollution because the pollution is being generated due to congestion. Congestion is required to be overcome. We have to think of alternative roads, and we have to also required to think of the carrying capacity of the vehicle, so that the vehicle can maintain a definite speed when it is traveling on the roads. Because once the fuel is not burned properly, that emits unburned hydrocarbon, and those are really causing health. Those are issues that to be tackled. Then simply blindly banning the vehicle. Again, the gentleman also told some of us is also maintaining a vehicle just for fun. It is not being used regularly for going to office or going shop. They are just maintain a token of luxury at home or token of memory at home, token of joy at home. So the vehicles, if it is not traveling and it is not traveling more than 10,000 kilometers a year, that means it cannot. And if it is, and it is not going to pollute the environment. And the banning a vehicle just after 10,000 kilometers of running is not wise enough. Those who are maintaining a vehicle for the sake of fun and for the sake of some races management, etc. So this is the required to be think of, and we need to think rationally, and we need to think in terms of the pollution also, in terms of the maintenance also, in terms of the registration also, in terms of the road maintenance also, in terms of the driving vehicles also, in terms of the fuel also. So
Right.
those are mainly is a intricate system. Simply barring a vehicle, banning a vehicle, deregistering vehicle may not give us the result which we are looking for.
Right. So, on that note, I'd like to go to Divan Singh. He's an environmentalist. He continues to stay with us. Mr. Singh, let me ask you this. While we are also discussing all of this, one of the most important aspects to discuss about is our scrapping infrastructure. Is the current scrapping infrastructure in Delhi really environmental safe? Are toxic materials being really handled properly?
Senior, as far as there is traffic infrastructure is concerned, what we are doing is typically flying over the problems. I mean, building more and more flyovers is nothing but you are trying to fly over the problems, and which is not possible. What's happening is that when we make a flyover in Delhi, there becomes many bottlenecks further after that flyover. And in this sense, if you see the Mahipalpur flyover, there's a huge long traffic jam before and after the Mahipalpur flyover, and at times even on the Mahipalpur flyover, which is on NH8. So such a wide road, and which is a national highway, and red lights are very far away, yet there is a traffic jam there. Similarly, in Delhi, at various places, you'll see flyovers have been made, but there are traffic jams bigger than previous ones. So that means the traffic infrastructure has not been well thought of, and the simple approach to just keep on building flyovers is not the right way to tackle with Delhi's traffic jams and Delhi's environmental problems. So this is one major point. So another is the number of vehicles in Delhi, which is again pertains to traffic. The vehicles need to be kept. Every house that owns vehicles must be restricted to one, and the city number of vehicles to be registered in the city must also be limited. Delhi has vehicles registered, which is equal to the other three metros together. So this is a huge number. How can a city bear this burden of so many vehicles and then say, "Oh, we are fighting pollution"? So we have to be careful, not allow too many. I mean, as I said, Ambassador was fuse buzzing, causing a lot of pollution, and an efficient Maruti came into its place. But the pollution of Delhi rose very high after that because the number of vehicles rose. So there are many other problems that come associated with it, with the increase in number of vehicles, which goes beyond an optimum number. So every city, let's say we need to find an optimum number of vehicles for every city and put a cap there. And the researchers, those in the authorities doing research on these subjects, can easily find this optimum number. So this is what I have to say regarding the traffic and the vehicles.